Hello, audience. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are watching and listening to me this hour. This is Yoruba Autonomy Mobile Radio and Television, broadcasting and reaching you from the great sunshine state of Florida in the United States. I crave your indulgence that in this edition of Open Editorial, I will be going into the core of the Nigerian society, and I will be speaking in dialogue or monologue, you can say, that the institution of traditional rulers in the Nigerian society has been adversely affected by government incursions into their responsibilities within the society. I don't care which of them you are talking about. Talk of emirs, OBs, and OBAs, and all the rest of them. Now, we have to do something about the situation, particularly to address OBs and emirs, and let them know where they belong in this Nigerian society of today. I am going to be starting with OBAs in Yoruba land, the Nigeria Southwest, and I'm going to be dealing and going into the origin of their birth, how they come into being, without wasting much of your time. It was, the beginning was during the days of intertribal conflict and feuds, where warriors will go from one village to another village and camp there and fight wars, conquer, and benefit from enjoying the spoils of war. That is, capture slaves, make slaves do slave labor, forced labor, and then in the end, the warriors begins to sell the slaves. And some will argue that, well, selling the slaves preserve their life, but they live a life of servitude. That is the sorrowful part of slavery. It's perpetual servitude. You work until you die. They force you to work. They lock your mouth in the sugarcane places and others. The places where you go and you see stones on stones in lagoon places, along seashores, in America, in Britain, these are slave labors that were not even paid for, beyond the fact that they bought the slave. The slave, a human being, was just like a mule. Anyway, so in going into intertribal conflicts and fighting wars and winning wars, and then the warriors, the head warriors who went and conquered, we put one of his most trusted allies among his armies, among his people, to be the overseer, to be the one in charge, to dictate, to carry out what the warrior wants. And then, as time goes on, it becomes that whoever a warrior wants and likes and put in place stays there permanently. And when they pass, one of their own is reinstalled as overall supervisor, manager of the territory that has been captured by that warrior. So, traditionally, they become rulers. They become rulers, but they are not supposed to be the de facto rulers. The warriors are the de facto rulers because they are the ones that own the place, not the ones that they put there as obas or traditional rulers. That was how it started. It's not just that we have a culture or tradition of installing somebody as an oba. No. The institution evolved over time. So, in essence, anyone can become a traditional ruler and by extension, an oba. If the community so wishes to install, as long as it is a general consensus of a town, a community, a village. So, the thinking in some people's head that yes, I am an oba and my father was an oba, so my child will be an oba, it does not necessarily follow. If people decide they don't want to do it that way, there's nothing you can do about it. And I am warning obas now, those that are sitting on the stool of culture and tradition, that they must respect themselves if they want the people from the community to respect them. It is not that you are an oba, and because you are an oba, you are the all and there's nothing anybody can do about it. For example, in the olden days, an oba can just see a lady walking on the street and says, I put my foot on her. And that's the end of it, no question asked. But as time goes on, people begin to challenge such power of an individual because they do abuse it. That being said, and that takes me to the fact that there are 7 very most important names in Yoruba land. And it's a source of identification of your source. And I make bold to say that anyone who is not from one of the following may not necessarily be a Yoruba person, but could be living in Yoruba land. And there are people also that may necessarily be Yorubas, but they do not even know the name of their family ancestors, the name they started with, which will be one of these 7 before the incursion of foreign religions, ethics, and behaviors into our body culture. For example, the names goes this way. You have in Yoruba land names that begins with Aki. These are the warriors of the olden days. That is bold. The one that is bold. They will go to war. You can't bully them. They are fighters. They assemble army. They are infantry people by nature. All they know how to do best is to fight wars. That's by how they live. Then besides Akin, you have Ogun, believed to be the god of iron. It's potent. It fights. When you call on Ogun, Ogun answers once Ogun is appeased. I don't care what anybody says, because that's one of the reasons why those people in foreign religions, they are so afraid of the traditionalists that they are making it look as if it is abominable. They know that it is the potent that they are scared and afraid of, because Ogun is effective. When you swear by it and it is false oath that you have sworn, guess what? The repercussion is swift and effective retribution that comes to you. So don't play with it. Ade is the other one. That's the crown. That is the supervisor that Akin puts in his conquered territory. The Ade is the voice, the mouthpiece of the owner of the territory captured, and a manager is put there. And the manager becomes the supervisor and then evolve into what we call the traditional ruler, that in vernacular we call it Oba. The Oba settle conflicts. The Oba responds to Akin his allegiance is to Akin. It is sworn. And in those days, they dare not betray the trust that is reposed in them, because Akin don't play nonsense. He will fight, he will remove the Obas, and that will be at the end of it. Nothing will happen. Besides now, after Ade, you have the Awo, that is the caucus. Those who caucus traditional means, traditional ways, traditional outlook, what we should do in the community, the way the community has been, put leaves and roots together to heal, to cause, and to enjoy. And that provides you with liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And they have the means, the traditional means, to pursue those who threaten happiness and liberty in community. That is what our people do. They go before oracles. And talking of oracles, next to Ifa, next to Awo is the Ifa. Ifa is the oracle itself, is the one that Awo will consult with. It is Awo that consults Ifa and make interpretation of what Ifa is saying when he, Awo, defines it. Because Ifa is the god of divination, and it is Awo that is the overseer. And next with Ifa is Odu. Odu is what Ifa brings out, is what Ifa speaks out. There are different types of Odu. But there are 16 major aspects of Odu. Next to Odu is Oye. Oye is Oye, as a matter of fact, that is intuition, knowledge, to know what you do. That is Oye. And with Oye, now we turn Oye into becoming what we now generally call Oye, which is now title. But it is not Oye, it is Oye. Understanding, knowledge. So when you have knowledge and understanding, effectively, you will be effective. Now, speaking to Obas and what is going on in our society at the present moment, I am now going to be speaking in ways that address some pertinent issues, but I will be saying it in Yoruba language and perhaps employing some dialect. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe ń sọ, orúkọ méje ló wà ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. A rí Yorùbá tí ò mọ àwọn orúkọ méje wọ̀nyí, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ní ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ orúkọ tó ti wà kó tó di pé àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn àjòjì dé, kó tó di pé àwọn kiriyó àbí àwọn mùsùlùmí bẹ̀rẹ̀. Làwọn orúkọ yìí ti wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọn orúkọ yìí dẹ̀ ní nǹkan tá a lè sọ wípé ìpìlẹ̀ fún èyí tí ń ṣe àwọn ẹbí. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Akin. Akin ló ní Ògún. Ògún ló sì ní Adé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ Adé ló ní Ifá. Ifá sì ló láwo. Awo ló ní Odù. Odù ló sì ní Òye. Bí àwọn orúkọ yìí ṣe lọ nìyẹn. Ẹnikẹ́ni tí orúkọ ẹ̀ ò bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú orúkọ méje yìí, kó lọ wádìí orúkọ tí ìpìlẹ̀ àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí ń tán jẹ́. Kì í ṣe wípé kó máa sọ wípé òun Christopher kan, òun Ismail kan. Rárá, kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Kí àwọn ẹ̀sìn àjòjì ó tó dé, káwọn ẹ̀sìn Lárúbáwá ó tó dé, kí àwọn ẹ̀sìn Kristẹni ó tó dé, àwọn orúkọ tí à ń jẹ́ nìwọ̀nyí. Kò sí Peter ń bẹ̀, kò sí Paul ń bẹ̀. àwọn orúkọ yìí láti fi mọ ibi tó ń ṣe ni tá a bá fẹ́ rúgbẹ́bọ tá a fẹ́ rúbọ tá a fẹ́ ṣètùtù. àwọn orúkọ yìí la máa fi mọ nínú àwọn tó jẹ́ wípé wọ́n jẹ́ irúnmọlẹ̀ tá a máa bẹ̀ lọ́wẹ̀. kò sẹ́ni tó sọ wípé Ògún, Ọbàtálá, Ọ̀rúnmìlà lọ́lọ́run òun ó tì. ṣùgbọ́n ohun tá a ṣe ni wípé Ògún, Ọ̀rúnmìlà, Ọbàtálá, Iyèmọ̀já, gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀yìn à ń bẹ̀ wọ́n lọ́wẹ̀ sí Elédùmarè ni. a lò wọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tá à ń sọ pé ìránṣẹ́ sí Elédùmarè kí àdúrà kí ó lè gbà. kí ni àdúrà? àdúrà ni ipá èyí tó ń jagun fún ni. bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni oògùn. àdúrà pẹ̀lú oògùn ọmọ ìyá ni wọ́n, ìkan náà ni wọ́n. bó ṣe lè fi àdúrà ṣépè fún yàn, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló lè fi èyí tí ṣe àdó kó fi bá ni wí. tó bá gbé bíbélì nínú inú kan ẹ tó bá dẹ̀ fi súre fún yàn nípa àṣẹ àwọn tó dá wa, á rí bẹ́ẹ̀. bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni oògùn. so gbogbo ẹni tó ń sọ pé ó ń ṣe oògùn, ó ń ṣe oògùn, ó ń ṣe ẹnìkan ṣe oògùn, kí ló ń bẹ̀ ẹ́ lẹ́rù nípa oògùn tí ẹnìkan ń ṣe? ṣé bí wọ́n ń lọ ń gbàdúrà àbí kí ló lérò pé òun ṣe nígbà tó ń gbàdúrà náà? kò kí ṣogun ló ń jà ni. ẹ lọ gbé jẹ́. nítorí kíni? bí Ṣàngó bá ń pa igi lóko kò lè pa erin arọ. kò lè pa irin arọ, kì í ṣe igi o, irin arọ. nítorí irin arọ àgbẹ̀dẹ ló wà, lọ́wọ́ àgbẹ̀dẹ ló wà. kí ni àgbẹ̀dẹ? àgbẹ̀ ẹdẹ, idẹ tó jẹ́ pé ó dàbí irin tá a fi ń lurin. irin tí wọ́n fi ń rọ ọkọ́, tí wọ́n fi ń rọ àdá láyé àtijọ́, idẹ ni. àgbẹ̀ idẹ ni àwọn tá à ń pè lágbẹ̀dẹ. nítorí pé iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ni iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. kì í ṣe gbogbo ẹni tó jẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ló jẹ́ pé oko ló ti ń ṣiṣẹ́. àwọn àgbẹ̀ tán wà ní ìdí arọ́ wọ́n wà, that is arọ́ where you manufacture, and àgbẹ̀dẹ are the people tó manufacture nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. ṣùgbọ́n bí mo ṣe ń bá ọ̀rọ̀ mi bọ̀ wípé ó dá lórí àwọn ọba, nítorí pé àwọn ọba kan wà tí wọ́n ń kọjá àyè wọn, tá a sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní láti máa rán wọn létí wípé má kọjá àyè ẹ o. àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ní sáìsì ẹ o, ìlú ní sáìsì ẹ o. tá a dẹ̀ ní wo nǹkan tí gómìnà ó ṣe, tá a bá ayọ̀ ẹ ni. tí gómìnà bá lòun yọ ẹ, tá a bá ní pé ó tì kò lè rí ẹ yọ. wọ́n bá yín sọ lọ́ba míì àti rí tó ṣẹlẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n òótọ́ lékè gbẹ̀yìngbẹ̀yìn náà ni. ṣebí wọ́n yọ ọba Ọlátẹrù Ọlágbẹ̀gì fúngbà díẹ̀ ni ó padà lórí ìtẹ́ ló sì kú sí. èèyàn dáadáa sì ni. àwọn ọba kan wà ní lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí tó jẹ́ pé bó ṣe yẹ ká sọ̀rọ̀ sókè wọn à sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. ojú àwa ìlú ń wò yín, a sì ní dákẹ́ pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́. ẹ ṣáà ti rí ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. ẹ ṣáà ti rí pé nígbà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níwájú ìgààfin elékòó, àwọn ọmọ Èkó wà ń bẹ, wọn à dá sí nítorí pé kíni? kò gbọ́ràn sí àwọn kan lẹ́nu nílùú tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ohun tó yẹ kó ṣe kò ṣe é, ẹ jẹ́ á sọ̀rọ̀ síbi tó wà, ẹ má jẹ́ á máa fọ̀rọ̀ sábẹ́ ahọ́n. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ọba tí wọ́n fẹ́ tiẹ̀ tí wọ́n gba tiẹ̀ tí ò kì í ṣe èyí tó ń sọ pé kò sẹ́ni tó dàbí èmi, tí ò ní ìtẹríba fún ìlú, tó yẹ pé ó ní ìtẹríba fún ìlú ni, tí wọ́n sọ pé ṣé kábíyèsí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ò jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, tí ìlú máa dìde fúnra lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Bàbá là ń pè kí lẹ bà lé lórí gan, kí làwọn ọba bà lé lórí, ṣebí ìlú ló fi yín jọba. Tí ìlú bá lòun fẹ́ yín lóyè, ìlú fẹ́ yín lóyè ni, tí ìlú ò bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ yín lóyè kò fẹ́ yín lóyè náà ni, ṣùgbọ́n afẹ́fẹ́ yín lóyè la fi yín jọba. Nígbà tí ẹ wá jọba tán kì í wá ṣe wípé kẹ́ wá máa gun ìlú ṣàràṣàrà bó ṣe wù yín bí ẹṣin, no, nígbà má fokomi dọ́nà níjọ́ kan náà máa ń ṣòfin ẹ̀. Ohun tí ìlú bá fẹ́ la fẹ́ kẹ́yìn ọba ó ṣe, ohun tá a fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ dá sí. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọ́n lè máa ṣẹ̀rùbà yín. Ẹ̀yin jẹ́ kí àwọn tán jẹ́ aṣojú ìjọba yẹn jẹ́ kán gbé ọwọ́ kọ́wọ́ kẹ́ ẹ rí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ wá rí i pé ẹ̀rù òbodò máa ń ṣàn ni, ìwọ̀n láìsí afẹ́fẹ́ adágúnlodò. So ẹ̀yin ọba ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ ń gbọ́ yìí nítorí pé a mà fẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ní tẹ́ bá jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀, I'm warning you now, tẹ́ bá fẹ́ jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ̀yin tá à ń pè ní kábíyèsí ẹ má mọ̀ pé a máa bì í. Níjọ́ tá a bá lọ pàdé ní pópó ìgọ́gọ́ á mà sọ, ìjà ńlá kan á mà ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìlú, láàrin ìlú mà ní, kì máa ṣe nínú igbó irúnmọlẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn irúnmọlẹ̀ máa tẹ àwa lẹ́yìn, nítorí pé kí ni àwa ń fún àwọn irúnmọlẹ̀ ní àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ń fẹ́, àwa máa láti máa ṣẹ̀tọ́ fún wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jọba tán, tẹ́ lẹ́ di Christian, tẹ́ lẹ́ di Muslim, tẹ́ wá sọ pé àwọn àṣà àti ìṣe ń tó gbé yín débẹ̀, pé ẹ̀ní ṣe mọ́, this is the èyí lòdì sí ẹ̀sìn ẹ̀. Tó bá lòdì sí nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe nílùú fún àlàáfíà ìlú, tó bá lòdì sẹ́sìn ẹ̀, sọ̀kalẹ̀ lórí àpèlé. Stop riding us. Get off from the crown. If you cannot abide by the rules and regulations of the tradition and the culture, pack your bags and baggages from the palace and let someone else that will do it come there. Because your civilization meant nothing to us. Your personal civilization meant nothing to us. You are just one among many. And you cannot impose your own understanding, your own religion and ethics on any Yoruba town. Nígbà tó bá máa dà ní kó dà, àfógun àfọ́tẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n tó bá máa dógun kó dógun, tó bá sì máa dọ̀tẹ̀ kó dọ̀tẹ̀. Ọba tí ò bá lè ṣe ìṣẹ̀ṣe, ẹ jẹ́ kó sọ̀kalẹ̀ kúrò lórí àpèlé. Kì í à ń sá aláwọn Fúlàní, àní wọ́n ń pààyàn, àní àwọn darandaran, àní wọ́n ń pààyàn, àní à ń wá nǹkan tó yẹ pé a máa fi pàdé wọn. Ẹlẹ́yìn ṣèpàdé. Kí làwọn àbọ̀ ìpàdé tẹ́yìn ṣe ń bolẹ̀ tí ń ṣe? A ní kẹ́ ẹ pé àwọn tí wọ́n nímọ̀ kan tí wọ́n nímọ̀ méjì. Àwọn tán ní àdó, àwọn tán ní àṣẹ. Bíbélì ṣáà sọ pé ẹ sọ ẹbọ náà mọ́ ìwo pẹpẹ. Àṣẹ ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, àṣẹ ló wà nínú pẹpẹ, kò jẹ́ pé bóyá ó lòdì. Ẹ so ẹbọ náà mọ́ ìwo pẹpẹ. Tie the sacrifice with to the horns of the altar, on the altar. Dáfídì ló sọ. So gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́yìn sọ pé yẹn Old Testament nìyẹn. Ṣé ilé máa ń wà kó má nípìnlẹ̀ ni? Ṣé ilé máa ń wà kó má nípìnlẹ̀ ni? Tẹ́ máa fi ń sọ pé Old Testament kan, New Testament kan, ó ti foreign parchment ni. kì í ṣe testament. Ìpele tẹ̀yìn ọba wà ìlú lónìí, gómìnà dẹ̀ kọ́ ló lọ́pàá àṣẹ o, gómìnà kọ́ ló lọ́pàá àṣẹ. Ifá la sì fi ń yan ọba nílẹ̀ Oòduà. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọba tán fífá yàn àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọba tẹ́ẹ̀ka ti fá sí tẹ́ẹ̀mú ti fá ṣe tẹ́ẹ̀mú ti ìṣẹ̀ṣe ṣe, àṣìṣe nìyẹn o. Ọba tí ò ṣe ìṣẹ̀ṣe ó ti ṣìṣe o. Oòduà ò ní jẹ́ káwa ó ṣìṣe o. Ṣìṣe tó ń bá òbúkọ tó fi ń bá ìyá ẹ̀ sùn. Ṣìṣe tó ń bá ajá tó fi ń bá ìyá ẹ̀ sùn. Òun mà ló ń gbẹ̀yìn àwọn ọba tó jẹ́ wípé wọn àfi ti èyí tó ń jẹ́ àṣà àti ìṣe ìṣẹ̀dáyé ìṣẹ̀ṣe táwọn fi ṣe. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti òṣèlú bọ inú ọba àbí tẹ́ fi ti ọba wọ òṣèlú. Ojú ìlú ń wo ara yín o, ojú wa wà lára yín bàjẹ́ kí n ṣe pààmà o. Níjọ́ tá a bá pàdé gangan á sọ ẹ̀yin ọba, níjọ́ tìlú bá pàdé yín ẹ̀yin ọba tẹ́ ń gun ìlú gàràgàrà, níjọ́ tìlú bá pàdé yín ẹ̀ mà wípé ẹ̀já mọ̀ nǹkan kan. Àpèlé òun là ń fún lọ́wọ́, àpèlé tẹ́ wà lórí ẹ̀ là ń fún lọ́wọ́. Kò sẹ́ni tí ò lè jọba, bá ṣe bí ẹrú náà bí ọba. Wọn àbí ẹnì kankan wípé ọba lélẹ̀. Tó bá jọmọ ọba ìlú lè fi jọba, ìlú máa ń fi ọmọ ọba jọba nítorí pé ìfọkàntán òun ló wà ńbẹ̀ tí ẹni tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlú yẹn fi ẹnìkan síbẹ̀ pé kó máa ṣe aṣojú fóun nígbà tóun lọ sógun. Nísẹ̀yìn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ ọba àti ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ jẹ́ ọba ẹ ti mọ bí ti ọba ṣe jẹ́. A fi ẹnìkan síbẹ̀ as supervisor as manager ni òun ló di ọba, Ògún ló ládé. Akin ló sì lògún. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹni tó lẹ́rú òun ló lẹ́rù. Ẹ̀yin ọba adé tó wà lórí yín ìdílé Akin ló ní, ìdílé Akin ló ti wá. Akin ló ní Ògún. Ìránṣẹ́ Akin lògún jẹ́. Akin ò sì ń dalẹ̀ Ògún, bẹ́ẹ̀ lògún ò kì í dalẹ̀ Akin. Nígbà tó dẹ̀ ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀, Akin tó lògún òun ló ládé, òun ló nílùú, ìlú gan ládé yẹn. Akin wá gbé adé tó gbà lọ́wọ́ tó gbélé ọwọ́ Ògún. Ó wá sọ ẹni tí òun fẹ́ kó gbélé lórí. Ògún ló ní adé, Akin ló sì ní Ògún. Ẹni tó lẹ́rú ńkọ́ òun ló lẹ́rù. Ẹ ṣé. Ẹni tó bá rí fídíò yìí, share it, like it, and subscribe to it. Thank you. God bless you.